and welcome to today's Broken Respawn podcast. I'm TBSliver, and we're joined here today by the very sleepy Sarin.
Hi all.
And the possibly awake Lucian.
I exist.
And we're here today to chat about all things, basically, probably. Mostly gaming and stuff that we've been up to over the past fortnight. We actually managed to do a podcast 2 weeks ago, so we've
oh my goodness, look at that.
Look at that. Past us, we were prepared. So, yeah.
We were not prepared.
How have we been, everyone?
There was no preparation. What are you talking about? We were prepared. We just said, all right, let's go do this thing as we're all scrambling, looking at things we want to talk about.
Yes, well, you know. Well, we can start off with Lucian. What have you been up to the last 2 weeks? I noticed a rather teary-eyed game recently.
Well, okay. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I know Kremlik is probably listening. Kremlik doesn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
But the other day I played on stream a game called Lost Words Beyond the Pages. Now, if you haven't heard of this game, it is a game that was written and the creative lead for it was Rhianna Pratchett, Terry Pratchett's daughter. It is a game that explores the depths of grief, loss, and joy. And it is very compelling. It is very enjoyable. If you're sensitive to topics of death and loss, it may be difficult for you to play, but it is also very, very interesting and very compelling. The game is, as far as I'm aware, I don't know if it's still on sale, but it was on sale on Steam. That's when I picked it up. But I'll be honest, I would have paid full price. It was that good. I would have paid full price. It was only like 3.5 to 4 hours long. Total playtime would maybe, if you want to do 100% completionist, maybe 5 hours. It was absolutely incredible. It has become one of my favorite stories that I've played so far. It's a 2D platformer. Well, I say 2D platformer. It's a 2D platformer light in that it's very much designed for people of all ages. It is a story that is designed for pretty much anyone to play. And it is absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. So yeah.
It is still on sale. In fact, it's on sale for another week. So Lost Words Beyond the Page over on Steam, 80% off, £2.39. Convert that into whatever local currency you will.
And as I said, it's absolutely fantastic game. I don't actually review games on Steam often. Like, if I'm going to write a review, it's either because there was something very positive about the game and I felt like I could write a review about it, or there was something horribly, horribly wrong with the game and I felt that I had to write a review about it. Lost Words is one of those few games that I have actually written a review about. I'll actually read it because it's quite short. Lost Words Beyond the Pages is an incredibly well-written exploration of the grief surrounding the death of a loved one and the journeys we can take to start healing from the trauma of such a cataclysmic event. Paired with an incredible soundtrack and breathtaking visuals, I could not recommend this game more. It's relatively short and bittersweet and won't take more than an afternoon to finish, but it may take weeks of emotional recovery before you're back to normal.
That's quite a game. Holy crap.
I am.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, wow.
It's,
okay. Because I caught a part of it and I was like, oh, it's a platformer. Lucian's playing a platformer? Oh, okay. It is a like the bit I caught was just mid game.
You came in about the middle of the story-ish.
And it was like the platforming was nice and simple. It is just jump from A to B to get to the right point. I liked the mechanic for dragging stuff around, like the lift thing. You just have a letter to lift and lift the thing.
the fact that the way spell casting works, and it was just you pull words from a book and use them to create stuff, basically, to make things happen. It's quite a clever mechanic. I quite enjoyed it. Also, like the fact that in other sections of the story, you can actually pull words from the page and use them as like things that you can jump across as well, which is something you might not have seen.
I think I saw a little bit of that, but that's very interesting, clever, like fourth wall platforming, as I'd call it. Manipulating the thing around it. Yeah. Okay.
But cool. It was incredible, absolutely incredible game. I could not recommend it enough. As I said, if you have difficulty dealing with like the stories about like death and loss, then maybe it's not the game for you. But like at the end of the day, I couldn't recommend it enough. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, awesome. And what have you been up to, Sarin, for the past 2 weeks? I'm just looking at your play history. Trying to sleep. Oh yeah.
No, it's been a lot of V Rising. We the regular Friday group started up another raft save since there was a big update to that.
Oh yeah,
so
haven't they? Not finalized the story.
Something. So we're going to see a bit of more progression in that on my end. So I'm going to be jumping between that and V Rising to, because I do want to get through V Rising. Like that game has really sucked in my interest. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. Like I'm actually playing on 3 different saves because I've got my server going. We've got the ARMCO server that we played on yesterday, and then I've got a small 3-person save going with another set of friends. So I'm actually playing the game 3 times over. And I still haven't lost interest in it, which is very rare for a lot of games these days.
Yeah. Especially as it's not got the Valheim style of you have one character and you can jump across saves with that character. Each save or server
is a new character.
Yeah, completely separate. So that's very interesting.
I was surprised for the fact that it kept my interest that heavily. So and it's mainly because a lot of the boss mechanics are interesting. The combat mechanics, the leveling system. I don't know if it's new, but it's a refresh of what's been the regular grind kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Like it's fun. V Rising has definitely pulled us in one way or another.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think that's good.
I'm enjoying the combat mechanics. I know, to be honest, I've only explored the base building a little bit, partially because the saves I've jumped into, like Lucian's massively into the base building and has made an amazing base on the ARMCO server. Seriously, if you're on there, go and ask for a tour. It's great. It's a maze, but it's great.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, in fairness to like everything. Sorry.
His brain just left.
Distraction.
No, sorry. I just read. I opened my email, and I see that someone's basically asked me to do a Zoom call meeting, and they've said Tuesday the 7th of July, and I'm like,
that's not
right. Yeah, no. It's either Tuesday or it's the 7th of July. It can't be both, so I'm going to have to get that clarified.
Back and poke them. Yes. Oh dear.
Anyway, as I was saying, the V Rising base that I've built, I noticed a difference in base building style because I was on the server earlier and I went over to Sarin's castle, my castle that Sarin is building. That Sarin has taken over. Hey, it's my castle heart. I'm paying for it, technically speaking. You're renting from me, goddammit.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But I noticed a difference in building style in that Sarin's castle is incredibly open plan, and I sort of understand why, because like it makes things easier to sort of move around and work with. And my castle is incredibly sectioned out. Like everything has its own room, everything has its own place. And I think I realized why that is. And it's because when I'm building, I think, especially in V Rising, I think, how can I defend this? How can I make it so that it is difficult to get through here if you're not me? And I do this a lot, not just in like games like V Rising, but in other games as well. Like I think it's a leftover from when I used to play Stronghold, when I used to play strategy defense games. It was like, how do I build a fortification that's the best defensive system that I can manage? And V Rising, I've sort of done that. You have the outer emplacements with the coffins that have the sort of the major thralls that have all the big armor. And then as you get through the castle, there's sort of layers of different section. So you have all of the lower tier stuff, like all of the stoneworking and everything in the outer layer. And then in the inner layer, you have all of the tailoring stuff and the gem crafting and the alchemy stuff. All of that is at the top. And then you've got like the main coffin, which is again flanked by 2 thrall coffins for defense, and et cetera, et cetera. And again, you've also got that location point of it only has 2 entrances. You've only got 1 entrance at the front and 1 entrance at the side, and the main castle only has 1 way up, and that is it. And I think that's one of the major reasons why I actually enjoy V Rising, because you can build defensively like that, and you can design castles defensively like that.
Yeah. There's also me forgetting the fact that we're on a PvP server.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The ARMCO server is technically PvP,
it's like,
although everyone's playing
PvP,
nice,
isn't it?
Yeah.
They are
playing nice.
I mean,
nobody's playing.
That's true. That's very true.
You guys, me, and Azure are really the only people playing on that server at the moment.
Oh, dear.
The server would have a completely different atmosphere if Blood Wolves were as active on it as they are on Atlas.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. It would be rather messy. But there'd be infighting, like.
You know, I mean, when it comes to PvP servers, you see a lot of fighting on ARMCO, or not ARMCO, on Atlas, because again, Blood Wolves actively engaged and, you know, pushed the PvP really to the boundary in that game. And you also saw a lot of fights break out in, what were we playing? In Scum.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the fights that you guys have heard about,
in fairness,
Blood Wolves were in the center of it.
In Scum, like,
regularly,
there were barely any rules, though. Like, we didn't set any rules for that.
I mean, even though that there were barely any rules, it was which group is starting a fight. Well, there's the Blood Wolves Mafia guys there, you know, collecting tolls as people pass by on their tractors.
And then there was just me sitting up in the north trying to build a bridge. And failing, I should say, because apparently you can't build over rivers at all, even if you try and glitch it. You can build over the ocean, but you can't build over rivers, and it annoys me.
I mean, and then there's me, and I was trying to do solo, and I was doing reasonably well until I accidentally clipped a rock with my my truck, which had most of my stuff in, because I was still building the base. Took me everything I was carrying with it, and I just lost all interest. I was just like, no, just no.
I know.
I
what
literally
that game
spent 20 hours getting to where I was getting.
That game is punishing solo.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It wouldn't have been so bad if I could find, like, I then literally spent like 6 hours cycling around and running around looking for another vehicle. Could I bollocks? Only vehicles I could find were people's like claimed ones, and they were locked up and stuff. I was just like, I literally the rules have come in since then. As like, you can't just go stealing shit when they're not online. It's like, yeah.
But there was another issue where people were just literally running around locking up vehicles for later. Like that was another problem.
I missed
that happened. So One of the funny things on that game was I was playing on a single player profile, and you can now find planes in the game. You can find biplanes in the game, right? So they've added that in. Why is the plane in the middle of the forest surrounded by trees?
To make it a challenge to lift off, I guess.
I literally had to cut a runway out. I'm just like, wow. Are you kidding me? I had to cut a path out to an open area and then take off.
Wow!
But the flying in that game is interesting because once you start getting to the higher altitude, you do get cold, so you have to have like warm clothing with you and that. And from what I've seen, a couple of recent updates, they are changing away how a couple of things work. Like they've added wound infections now, so if you don't clean them properly or if you use dirty rags, you will actually get an infection. So yeah, they're really coming out with a lot of things. I'm actually very interested to see how this game progresses. I would love to be part of a bigger server for that, because I think that could be a fun alternative to our Atlas seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I know like the server we've been playing on there with ARMCO is Wasted server that he's shelling out for, and it's actually slightly annoying that Gamepires, who are the developers of there, have actually got only releasing their server client for private server hosts, rather than like obviously ARMCO Wasted pays for some very beefy servers for Atlas that like if we didn't have the various 100 mini servers running on would be entirely wasted right now, you know. And we have the ability and the skills for it, and it's really slightly annoying we can't run our own because the server owners are the server hosts are charging an arm and a leg. Like it is expensive to run even a medium size Scum server. Yeah. Like it's like look at G Portal. Let's say Scum server hosting, 10 slots is $12. Which is not too bad, but then that's per month. But if you want a big one like what we've got, that's a 64 slot. It's $65 a month.
Yeah, because even like with your internet and the internet that I'll be getting, like I have another tier of internet that I could technically go up to.
Yeah.
And actually, let me take a quick look at what the speeds for
you said
that
it was
would be.
2.5 gig, and it was just like, what? Like you'd have to upgrade your router to make true use of that. But
the thing is, they are providing me with a fiber optic router.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but no, you'd have to upgrade your home network as well, like all the wiring, because I don't think Cat5e, which is what most people will be using, runs above gigabit easily.
Fair.
So I think you'll do it over short distances, like your computer to the one next to you, but 2.5 gig or 10 gig Ethernet requires much better cabling, unfortunately. Yeah. But that's a different problem.
Let's see. It's actually 1.5 gigabit internet, which is the best plan that I'll be able to get from my area.
That's not well. That means you can run stuff over wireless and it won't interact at all with the stuff.
Yeah, it's local. But the thing is, like, even with that, like having a okay, let's say I have that, and then having a small little tower running a server of my own. Yeah, that would have been fine. Like if I could do that for Scum or Atlas, just to have a dedicated tower.
Yeah, like Atlas, you can do that with. It's just a pain in the ass to set up the servers.
That's Lucian. True too. No. Yeah, you guys have worked on that more than I have.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do that sort of thing. But I mean, I like. Obviously, Scum is still in development, so that's their reasoning behind it for not releasing the server files. But it's like, why? You'd get a lot more debugging than the dedicated server hosts are ever going to give you, to be honest. Because like you end up with hobbyists like myself and Poetic and Wasted who will sit down and beat the ever-living shit out of it. Make it do shit it was never meant to do, or try and get as many try and fit 600 people on it, because that would be hilarious. And probably make it cry, because I don't think Unreal Engine will take that. But yeah,
not easily anyway.
No. But,
they'll cry all the way, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of expensive web hosting. I mean, well, Minecraft as well, for example, gets expensive for dedicated. In fact, it costs about the same, which is, I don't know if that's surprising or not, because given some server packs are just insanely high server usage.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? God, everything and anything. Recently, the big one recently has been Outriders, actually, which I know both. Actually, which both Sarin and Lucian have joined me on for. They had a free. I was going to say free weekend. It wasn't a weekend, but a free week of it.
Yeah,
and we managed to catch near the end of that, and that game is interesting. I'd
like to go back to it. And as the person here who does not currently own it, I'd like to go back to it because it looks fun and I did enjoy playing it, but also
it's not cheap.
I am poor.
It is not a cheap game. In fact, that comes out the latest expansion for that. Yeah, today. So oh, wow,
Outriders World Slayer.
Yeah, although that game's going to be put to the back burner for a couple of days because Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak also came out today. I'm a little bit more interested in that one.
You won't be seeing it on my channel because I cannot stream and play it at the same time.
Yeah. It is an actual beast.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's not that bad on my computer. It's literally just the combination of running OBS and that game at the same time.
Yeah.
Just redlines me, and my computer cannot do anymore, which is why I'm in the process of, theory building a new one with Sliver's help. We've put together quite a nice looking rig, but it's gonna,
it's a bit. I don't know if it's overkill or underkill yet. That's the problem.
Will it last me 10 years? Yes. Then it's not overkill.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, expecting any computer system to last 10 years is, I'd say It'd say difficult, but that's what my server is. My file server.
And that's what my rig is.
And then yours.
At the end of the day, at the rate that we improve technology, you shouldn't expect your computer to last 10 years. You should expect the technologies around you to advance so fast that your computer is out of date in 7 years.
Yeah, actually, the recommended time for that is 5. Hence why a lot of warranties are 5 years, because they see the lifespan of it of about 5 years. I expect it to survive 10 years. Yeah, I want my desktop, the one that I've currently got at the moment, if I keep it in its current configuration, apart from 2 of the hard drives, which are already 10 years old, that says a lot. I want them to last. I want it to last and be running and be capable of doing stuff for 10 years, and playing the stuff it currently can play, and maybe a few years into the future. I do not expect a computer from now to be able to play new video games at decent quality in 5 or 10 years time. I really don't expect that. But also, in 5 or 10 years time, what's gaming gonna look like at that time? Like,
it better look like something like Ready Player One at that point.
That's true.
I mean,
like VR,
here's the thing. In 10 years' time, I suspect that gaming will actually look relatively similar to what it does now. With an increase in VR, probably, I would like to see more AR technology come to light.
And this is where, yes, AR technology does have still a long way to go, because I actually demoed the first Microsoft HoloLens.
Oh, cool.
I was so excited for that tech to come out. That was going to be my next big purchase. Because every video that you've seen, if you guys have not seen it, look it up, Microsoft HoloLens. Sliver, maybe you could throw up a little bit of splash about it. It was literally a computer that you wear. It as a headband you wear. You've got the lenses in front of you, and it was supposed to display a augmented reality on your surrounding. So you could have everything from office stuff. You could have, your calendars, your statistics, to games, like, Minecraft world being generated on your surrounding. To the other, various video games that they were portraying, or even learning tools, being able to see the human anatomy, but able to actually, interact with it in a virtual environment, and have that as part of a training tool for a class. It looked amazing, but they did not. Now that's the HoloLens 2. I don't know how well they've improved it. That's the video for the HoloLens 2.
I can't find a HoloLens 1 quickly, but this is the actual hardware.
I do not know how they improved it since I demoed the first one, where they've taken that video of what you're supposed to see, and you only saw about that much screen in front of you.
Oh no!
It was a literal 2-inch screen. I mean, see, this is what it's supposed. This is what they're imagining it to look like. That there's an entire virtual world around you, but in reality, it was.
At the end of the day, you've only got that area in front of you, and you don't have that peripheral view.
Yeah. I mean,
it
is quite literally like wearing glasses.
It is. It's literally.
No, it is worse than wearing glasses. It is wearing glasses and cutting out a 1-inch square and putting that in the middle of the lenses.
I'll let you know that my glasses are literally 1 inch tall. But yeah, it's the horizontal view as well.
It's anything that is above or below or to the side is just cut out. What they need for something like that is a curved lens that actually sort of goes over the eyepiece sort of socket, so that it actually connects to your, like, well, maybe not connect, but like it sort of.
It's almost right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, so it's basically placed on your skin, and like maybe has a like curved band that goes around the back of your head. And like any of the processing unit could be in a like a pack at the back, or maybe on your hip.
A belt pack would make more sense.
No, the processing unit is on like the side of the band, and then you have the battery pack at the back. That's what it is. You get the processing on both sides, and then you have that full shield in front of you, which there you've got your projection for the virtual for the augmented reality, what you're supposed to see. The problem is they do not have that big enough. Right. So the screen surface is there because you don't have much more screen surface in Oculus or in any VR headset, but you still have way more visual range on those than you did on the HoloLens.
Right. I've only used a VR headset once for a little demo, and that was probably on 10 years ago now. Like it was a first gen Oculus, or was it? It was one of the first generation ones anyway. It was one of the roller coaster demos where you sit in a chair and you put it on and you're like, And it was interesting and good. I could see the technology coming from there, but it's. I've also used VR on my phone. Like I've got a Pixel, so I could do Daydream. There we go, Daydream on it, which was interesting. And there is a different screen, like what they call the screen door effect, because you can't see out the very left and very right, but you need like probably about that like. Normal computer game, normal video game FOV of like 75%. You need that much, and it need to be 75% top.
There wasn't
side.
Even that. I'm gonna say maybe like 2% FOV at most.
Wow, yeah, no, that's a little bit too. Yeah,
like
I mean that's the same as the old Google glasses, the little, which had just a little screen.
That I'm gonna put it equivalent to that.
Wow. Okay. That's
like
disappointing.
It had a 2% field of view. It was directly in front of you in a small little box that honestly, I was severely disappointed. I put it on, I looked around, I took it off, and I looked at the representative and I went, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah. I mean, this is probably after you've been using normal VR as well, wasn't it?
No, this is before normal VR. This is me using VR on my phone.
Wow. Okay. Google Cardboard for the win. Such an amazing technology.
Actually, it was a Samsung. Because I work for Kudo Mobile here in Canada. I went to a Samsung competition and won the Samsung VR for my Samsung phone. So nice. I used that, and that had better field of view than the HoloLens. And I was severely so. As far as augmented reality goes, they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And that could be very well just because of the technological limitations.
Yeah. I
mean, at the end of the day, there are some very cool AR technologies out there that have come to light, but they're very ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, the old ARs, the augmented reality they put into stuff like Pokemon Go, which is relatively recent. In terms of how long AR's been going, I remember that they were doing AR on like QR codes on posters, and you show your you point. You had to have the right app installed.
Yeah,
so you point your phone at that, and then like if it was an advert for say a music festival or something, a stage appeared in your phone, and you could see some of the like you could see the stage as it was going up with lights and stuff happening in three-dimensional space through your phone against the poster, and it was very clever. Like that's been around for 10-15 years.
I mean they did AR with the Game Boy 3D.
Yeah. Well, and yes, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
They did with the 3D and the 3DS.
Yeah, which tanked hard, unfortunately.
I enjoyed it.
It was clever.
That's
clever. I mean, it was 3DS did something that very few places have done, which is 3D without the goggles.
Yeah.
Which it's very hard to do.
It is, because you have to have you have to be basically positioned in a particular way, which is easier to do with a handheld system than, having people crowding around a TV.
Yeah. But it's still not perfect. 3D has got 3D. I mean, the headset realm. Like, there's the I think it's the HTC Go or something like that. There's a new one that's come out. There's basically a pair of glasses that you can plug into your phone. And it looks like they're like a pair of aviators, but quite slightly thicker. It's designed for mobile VR gaming. It's not designed for like any major. Like you couldn't play Half-Life Alyx on it, for example. It's not designed. For
fair
that.
Enough.
It's designed for experiences and stuff like that, and maybe a little bit of social interaction in VR. Like I think you can run VR chat on it.
Okay,
which is quite good. Like it's lighter than the Quest, that level of power, which is interesting, but it's still, in 5 to 10 years we will definitely see some. Either technology will die out entirely, same way as 3D TVs, or we will see some massive game changers in there. Like all it needs is someone like Apple to go, hey, we're going to do VR now. Suddenly the whole place is going to be on fire.
Oh, you mean like Elon Musk is trying to do what is it, Nerve Gear?
Yeah, not so impressed by that.
The company that I'm actually keeping an eye on when it comes to AR technology is a company called Vuzix.
I want to come across.
Yeah. Let me send this link.
Yeah.
So Vuzix have been basically promoting the idea of smart wearables, specifically smart glasses. And one of the sort of more well-known ones is the Vuzix Blade, which is basically it's very much a similar thing to what Sarin was talking about earlier with the HoloLens. Of it's got that tiny little screen, but it's in a lot more wearable form factor.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing I can see military using, to be honest. I mean, that's where the technology is going to come from.
Oh, yeah, you mean they haven't?
From. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I've been told about technology is the military has at least 5 years in advance before it becomes, to the civilian sector. So we're just seeing this now. They've probably already had it and moved past it.
Well, they have been using it for years in fighter jets. But then again, in a fighter jet, you've got a full helmet and a large glass panel that they just have to put the right coating on the inside, and then they've got horizon line, everything else, whatever else they need, notifications, all on your helmet, and that it removes the number of screens they have to have out, and they don't have to look at the screen to know how bad they're flying.
I mean,
you kind of want to be able to look up and see missile warning. That's an important one. I'd say that one and the fuel gauge are probably two of the most important ones, and possibly collision warning. There's the three that you kind of want. Heads up, in your face, shit, there's a mountain.
I'm sorry, but if a fighter jet pilot can't see the mountain in front of his face, then he's got no reason to be up in the air.
That's true.
Yes, but they're also moving so fast that the mountain could have not been in front of him when he last looked.
Okay, no, that is fair if you're flying the Blackbird.
That thing doesn't. I don't think that thing really maneuvers as far big, but it's designed to be at 70,000 stupid feet. As in, it moves. Maneuvers. But does it have the same maneuverability as, say,
there is
jump jet?
Okay, so there's a known anecdote about the Blackbird from one of the original pilot test crews, basically. And it's a story that's gone around a lot of the time. But to summarize it, the crew flew over I think it was California or somewhere. And they were listening in on the radio, and they're not really meant to talk to ground control when they're flying over areas, because they're flying so high it doesn't really matter. And also they're not a civilian aircraft, so they really aren't meant to. But they always listen into radio chatter because it's sort of necessary. And so they're listening to this, and there's this big thing of I think it was a Cessna that actually calls out to ground control and asks for their ground speed, and ground control gives them the answer, etc., etc. And it keeps going up of different pilots going, I'd like my ground speed checked, please, and ground control will always give you the answer. And then you hear this, I think it's an F-17 pilot go, can I get my ground speed, please? And he's obviously making a show of force of just going, yes, I am the fastest thing here, and you are not going to beat me. And it's okay. And ground control gives out the speed, and et cetera, et cetera. And then the pilot of the Blackbird, and the Blackbird has two pilots, right? It has a radio operator and a pilot, because the pilot can't do the radios as well. It's physically impossible. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
And the pilot was he was thinking to himself, well, I'm tempted to actually go, ground control, can I have my ground speed checked, please? And of course he doesn't, because he's the pilot, not the radio operator.
Yeah.
But at this point, they've been flying together for so long that the radio operator just presses a button and then goes, ground control, can we get a ground speed check, please? And ground control just goes, yes, it's in the thousands. And the radio operator goes, yes, well, we have it at X number, and ground control just goes, well, your instruments are probably better than ours at this point. And here's the thing, 10 seconds later, they're out of radio contact range.
Oh, yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it's just...
That entire interaction took maybe 50 seconds. And they flew from one side of a county to the other in less than a minute.
Yeah. And that's an American county, I guess, rather than a...
Yes, that's maybe someplace the size of Texas. In fact, I think it was California. They flew over California in less than 60 seconds.
The long way or the short way?
I'm guessing diagonal, but God knows. And like they managed that in less than 60 seconds. That tells you how fucking fast that plane is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It moves. Mach 3 or something. Mach 4. It's.
I don't know.
Just at default at
This is out of our.
This is entirely outside of our normal range of things. So
the SR-71 Blackbird flies at
3,540 kilometers an hour.
Yes,
it's got a little bit of go then.
He's got a little bit of go. Okay, so something interesting that I actually learned about the SR-71 is that when it was on the ground, it leaked fuel.
No,
what?
So, because of the way the vehicle was designed, because it was flying at such high speeds, it was generating a lot of friction, a lot of force, etc., etc. It would heat up the chassis, and the chassis in flight would actually stretch. Like, it would actively just get longer. So when it was on the ground, it had to be filled up with foam because the fuel kept leaking out, because the pipelines were designed to run fuel when it was stretched. So it was different when it was actually on the ground. It was smaller. So there would be like different bits and pieces that weren't quite lined up properly. So it would leak.
Interesting.
So yeah.
That's okay. This is definitely far outside our normal realm of topic. Holy crap. Okay then. Well, what have we had this? Have either of you done any of the demos or even looked at any upcoming games that you're interested in?
You know this, Sliver.
Yeah, I know you don't trust
You know this.
But are there any games that you've been looking at or you've looked at and you're going, I can't wait for this to come out? And ones that are in like the next... Okay, ones that are in the next month or so. Nightingale's not until November.
Nightingale is in the next month or so.
Is it?
Nightingale comes out in Q4 of 2022.
Oh, they haven't given an exact date yet, so it could.
They haven't given an exact date, but early access is meant to be early Q4 of 2022.
Early Q4, okay. Because Q4 could be just like the releases today.
It could be anywhere from the end of next month to like, well, it could be anywhere from today to the end of the year, but
that's not Q4. This is the end of Q2.
Oh yeah.
It's June.
Right.
It's June.
Yeah, at the end of like July to next year,
September.
Like, yeah.
We'll get a date eventually, because technically today, today is the day that anything that was meant to release in Q2 2022 is the last day they can release.
Delayed.
Is now late. As of the end of today, is now late. So Outriders and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak came out in Q2 2022.
On the edge.
By the skin of their teeth. Yeah. But apart from Nightingale, are there any other games that you're kind of either of you are looking forward to?
I'm interested in Stray, the one we mentioned last time about where you play a cat in a cyberpunk dystopian future.
I'm interested in that one as well. To be honest, I want to play that one.
It's on my game releases list. It's on the 19th of July.
Yes, I think that's one we're all kind of interested in. Again, I believe that one is a single player one, so there'll be no co-play there.
Yes.
Yes, it is single player.
Digimon Survive, I know my wife will be interested in checking out. She loves all things Digimon, so that's going to be another thing. That is on the 29th.
29th of July. Okay. I know a few people will be interested in that as well, like Katie's and several others of that lot will be very interested in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's into the Monster Collection phase, Monster Collection games, it's just like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got several that are in my list. I mean, two of them that I think I'm going to play more than any of the others. Metal Hellsinger.
Okay.
But
you mentioned that one. That was the RPM style.
Yeah, BPM, bullets per minute.
Or BPM.
Style. Yeah. That's on the 15th of September. That comes out, and yeah, that's a heavy metal with well-known metal singers like Serge Tankian from System of a Down singing custom songs for this game. I am so very looking forward to it. I'm never gonna. I'd be happy if I hit like top 1,000 in the leaderboards for any of the songs, but I'm going to enjoy it no matter what. It's such an interesting game of shooting on the beat. And if you ever play any of those games and then jump over to a normal shooter, don't play music, because you will just be there waiting for the beat to shoot people. It's just like boom, boom. But it is very very good at getting your rhythm going. For people that don't have rhythm, have fun.
Yeah. Let's see what else is coming out here. We got the Marvel Spider-Man PC port coming out August 12th.
What in the world has happened to my camera?
I don't know. I don't know. Fixing it.
It happened like 5 minutes ago. I was going to point it out later, but okay. We've got another Saints Row coming out August 23rd. SD Gundam Battle Alliance August 25th. I know a couple people were interested in that one. And then Destroy All Humans 2 Recode is coming out August 30th.
Scale to Outer Bounds? Scale to Inner Bounds? Stretch to Bounds?
As the title says, it's broken. We are the broken respawn. Lucian respawned and he broke everything.
Yeah, it's not actually letting me scale that any bigger, so something's just gone screwy with your camera, because it's doing it on the thing.
Just crop it, crop the top off, and
yeah.
That'll work.
Anyway, but yes, and the other game I'm looking forward to from is the day after that, Melatonin. Which I don't know if either of you have really.
Day after what?
The day after Metal Hellsinger, Melatonin. Is one which is a rhythm-based game, similar to Rhythm Heaven, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Oh my god,
it looks interesting.
Yeah,
looks a little meta in some ways.
Oh, it's silly. It's definitely a silly game, because you only get like 3 controls, which is like A, left trigger, right trigger, depending on what it is. But it's entirely a rhythm game of press the right button at exactly the right moment. And it's a lot harder than it looks, because you've got to be on the beat perfectly, and it's not like you can just like sit there pressing A repeatedly. You've got to keep you've got to listen to the music and keep an eye on the game, because like for the ones in the demo, 2 of them that stick out. There was one which was just like someone sat there with a pair of game guns, just shooting aliens, and it's got a pattern on the screen that it follows, but you've got to shoot them at the right time. The pattern always happens. The aliens appear just before you need to shoot them, and you've got to listen for the cue and press it at the right time. And then there's another one where you're just supposedly working on a till, and you've got to listen for the beat that's normally like 4 beats long. So da 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 da, for example, and then you've got to repeat it back to it. So, and it's a answer and response. It's a answer and response. That's entirely the same word. There's a particular term for it. I've forgotten what it is in a musical term, but yeah, they give you a rhythm, then you respond with it after on the next major beat. And there's a few other ones as well like that, and that's just the demo. Like I played for a good 30-40 minutes, because I had obviously that's the other thing I had, which was Short Play Saturday on Saturday just gone.
Demo day.
Oh yeah, well I didn't just play demos. I had some interesting games in that. Holy crap.
Here's a game that missed my radar.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings Gollum. Where you play as Gollum.
Okay.
Or his alter personality, Smeagol.
Okay.
I don't want to play it. That sounds.
Is
it the story of him in the cave, or the story of his descent into madness?
So the story follows J.R.R. Tolkien's books rather than Percy Jackson's films, dealing detailing Gollum's happenings during the first chapters of the Fellowship of the Ring after he loses
I'm sorry.
the One Ring to Bilbo Baggins.
Okay.
Can you go back? Can you read that first sentence again?
Story follows J.R.R. Tolkien's books rather than Percy Jackson's film trilogy. I don't know why. That's
Percy Jackson?
or Peter Jackson's. Fuck.
Percy Jackson and the Lord of the Rings. Wait, what?
Yeah, Peter Jackson. Oh, my bad. Somebody wake Sarin up. That's the name of the episode.
Yeah, apparently. Somebody pour caffeine down.
Give me that caffeine.
Give him a coffee.
Get me that caffeine IV because I need it because I can't read for shit today. Anyway. But anyway, it follows his journey basically after he loses the ring and its journey across Middle Earth, visiting the various locations.
Okay.
However, his face looks derpy as all hell in the trailer video.
Oh no. Oh no.
They made the eyes too big. They did the whole ugly Sonic thing.
They did the inverted ugly Sonic thing. They made the eyes big first.
The eyes are way too big. Oh, like, hang on, I'm going to show you I'm going to link you.
Oh god, they really are.
Oh no. Is this even going to be safe?
They've made anime Gollum.
Big eyes.
They have. He's just got really big anime eyes.
They made anime girl eyes.
Oh my word.
It's awful. It's absolutely
awful. My word. I don't even want to press play on that.
You don't even have to press play. Just look at it.
No, it's just oh no.
It's bad. It's bad. The animated version is even worse.
Oh god. Yeah, no, that's
likely
mature, 17 plus. Yeah, don't play it.
No.
Yeah, I'm not. No. Like, here's the thing. Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, like, those were two games that I've played Shadow of Mordor, and honestly, I've enjoyed it. But I only got so far into it before I was like, I'm bored. And some of the systems in it are really interesting, like the Nemesis system, where if a orc that you've killed comes back after a number of times, he gets stronger and stronger, and also he gets more and more beaten up. And I thought that was really cool. But at the same time, I got really bored after a while. And I stopped playing it on stream because of that. Like, I was just bored most of the time.
I can't say I've played any Lord of the Ring game. I don't think I've watched all the movies. I've tried. I'm partway through rewatching The Hobbit. Because I kind of wanted... I watched the Lord of the Rings one several times, but I never really... I want to rewatch them. But I've not managed to... They've not caught me the second time like the books did. Like, I could go back and read those books, the Hobbit especially, multiple times. Partially because my dad used to read it to me as a kid, so it's kind of I've got those nice memories. But it's it's definitely none of them have really appealed because it's just like
the one Lord of the Rings game that I enjoyed was Lord of the Rings War in the North.
Okay.
That was a 3-person co-op adventure for the Lord of the Rings story.
Interesting.
Fortunately, I believe the servers for it have gone down, so it is no longer accessible.
And that's the other thing. I think a lot of the Lord of the Ring games were online only, and they're either not around anymore or they're dying a death. Because, I mean, live service games, you kind of have to play them at the time. there's no other way around it. Like if you don't. I mean,
there is. There is. You get a big enough fan base, and they'll make sure the game stays alive. True. I mean, look at the Star Wars MMO that was before SWTOR.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the whole community keeping that one alive.
Yeah, but that one's got a massive following. I mean, I'm surprised with Lord of the Rings because there's a good following of Lord of the Rings folks. But I just wonder if I wonder if it's a different crowd, because obviously I'm guessing the Star Wars. It seems the Star Wars crowd has obviously engaged, you know, modern technology. But it's also there hasn't been the other thing is as well. There's been a resurgence of Star Wars stuff, massive resurgence. Like I mean, the last 3 seasons of everything that's come out of the thing. You know, Boba Fett.
Man, Kenobi was amazing.
Yeah, all these little sub shows and stuff, and there hasn't been that for Lord of the Rings. There hasn't been that for. I'd say there hasn't been that for Star Trek either. But Star Trek is a TV series, so it's just
Star Trek has had that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Star Trek had it.
Star Trek has had so far. It has had Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Prodigy, and Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah,
and Picard.
I mean more like.
No, I'm not particularly
kind of
fussed about Picard, to be honest.
I would count Picard as a sub-story, similar to like Kenobi and Boba Fett and the Boba Fett. Not the Boba Fett series. Sorry, I've got the entirely wrong one. The
Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett, the Mandalorian. I'd put those as they're sub-stories. They're not mainline like any of the other Star Trek ones. Are all main ships. Enterprise, Discovery,
not
all
of
that.
Them. Not all of them. Discovery Discovery is definitely like centerpiece.
Yeah.
And Strange New Worlds is the Enterprise. So again, it is also centerpiece.
Yeah.
But Star Trek Prodigy is not centerpiece.
Okay.
And Star Trek Lower Decks, again, isn't centerpiece either. I classify those as sub-stories.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, the ones that I've not watched. But there isn't that for Lord of the Rings or, like, I mean, at the moment we've got those seem to be the 3 big sci-fi fantasy storylines in the world. Fandoms. The only other one being, obviously, Harry Potter. I can think of off the top of my head.
Nobody talks about Harry Potter anymore.
Well, they do, but
for a variety of reasons, nobody with a good conscience talks about Harry Potter anymore.
It's messy, is what the Harry Potter universe is at the moment. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
especially we'll leave it at that for today.
Yeah, there is a major reason why any discussion about Harry Potter stuff basically causes most of the LGBT community to walk the other way.
It's been like
it's not been good.
It's a mess, is what it is. You know, but that's a whole other topic. But I mean, it's another one that I mean, again, it's kind of. In fact, I'd say they both suffer. Like Harry Potter suffers from a different thing as well as this.
Yeah,
but it's because the story that Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter suffer from. They were books first, then they were movies, and there's not been much else massively pushed that's captured the imagination.
There've been a few games, but
I don't think Tolkien ever designed it to be a franchise. And because Tolkien never designed it to be a franchise, it had a finite ending. It had The Hobbit, which was originally 1 book, and it had The Lord of the Rings set, which was a few books, but they had a finite ending, and after that there is nothing more. You finish the book, you finish reading, you can go back and read it again, but you've read it, etc., etc. Same with the films. The games are classified as non-canon for Lord of the Rings,
and that's probably another thing that they've kind of shot in the foot, because the Star Wars games and stuff are some of them are canon, and they've avoided the main canon so they can be in there a lot of the time.
Whereas Lord of the Rings, a lot of the games are considered non-canon because some of them don't quite line up, and like the people who manage the Tolkien estate are very picky about this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's such a
but anyway, this will lead us into another hour convo, which we do not have time for.
Well,
true.
We don't actually.
We've
no,
only
we're
got
just
half an hour.
We've just rounded up to an hour. So is there any other?
I mean, today I'm actually I do still have stream, but I'm not streaming with lying, so I don't have quite as much of a deadline.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah. In that case, are there any other games, as we were going over them just before, that you're kind of looking
you'll
forward
be
to?
interested to know, Sarah. You'll be interested to know, Sliver, that Nier Automata is apparently coming out on the Switch, according to an email that I got from Square Enix 25 minutes ago.
You sure that hasn't got an NDA above it?
Yeah, no, I'm not big enough for an NDA, Sliver. You know that.
That's fair. That's interesting.
No,
I've not played it, so
I have it here on one of the Game Informer's websites. Yeah, it's announced October 6th for the Switch.
Yep.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Nier Automata. Yeah,
Nier Automata.
Yeah, I got one of the Nier games. Why are you on download? Hello. Can I spell it? Yeah, I got Nier Automata for my birthday several years ago from one of my chat droid, and I still haven't got around to playing it.
It's just a good game. It's a time sink, though.
Like we have any time to play games.
It's all we do.
You say that. It's very much like we do play a lot. We do play a lot of games. You don't really have a chance to enjoy, like offline enjoy a lot of them. Like Monster Hunter Rise is my current offline game. I play that with a small community of people as well. It's just like I really don't play that on stream for two reasons. It doesn't do very well, and I kind of just want to sit back and relax and just chat shit. And there's so many games that I'm partway through on stream, and it's like, will I ever get back to like Cyberpunk? I'm halfway through that. Will I get back to
Horizon Zero Dawn? That yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't had the time to sit down on stream and do it because I was doing it on stream, so like continue it there. But like the story's gone from my head, really. Like I can't even remember what the hell I was doing. I was driving around like a crazy one.
It wasn't California. It was Arizona.
It was Arizona. Okay.
Let's see. What else? We got No Man's Sky coming. We got No Man's Sky coming out to the Switch on October 7th as well.
It's about bloody time. It's the perfect. Well, it's kind of the perfect game for the Switch. Like, is it gonna be cross save and cross play?
That's the big question.
If it's cross save, I might get it because that would actually give me something to re-get Nintendo Online and play on my Switch more. Because quite frankly, ever since I started playing Rise on the PC, I've not picked my Switch up. It's kind of disappointing. Like I've picked up my game. No, bad bottle. Nearly not that flying. I picked up my Game Boy Advance that I modded more than my Switch recently. I mean, it's next to me on my desk, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it is what it is. At the end of the day, none of us really have any time left. I have time left, but that's because I'm trying to make this a career, so you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love this for me to be a career, but in the meantime, I got to work on my current career.
Yeah. You and me both, man. You and me both. Well.
Yep.
Do we want to finish on that bombshell?
Let's finish on that bombshell.
Yeah. Well, in that case, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And let's do a few shout-outs, starting with Sarin, because I started with Lucian last time.
Oh, great. Start with me. You should start with yourself one of these days. Well, it is SarinTal. I am primarily streaming on Twitch. You guys will see me Wednesdays and Fridays. The schedule here is a little bit wrong just for the next couple of weeks as I am going through some physio. But still stay tuned to my Discord. It is the best place to catch me there. If you need a link, go to my Twitch chat and then !Discord and you'll get the link there. Currently playing through some Mass Effect Legendary Edition and V Rising, Raft, and a couple other small games. So yeah, on to next.
Yeah. Lucian?
My name is Lucian V. Ghost, founder and curator of the Lucian V. Ghost YouTube and Twitch channels. I go live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 p.m. UK time, and I put out videos on YouTube whenever I have time / am able to. Currently, we are doing some Space Engineers, some Minecraft, a variety of other things. I think today's stream is actually going to be Minecraft because I want to build a thing, and that's going to be interesting. So yeah. Come and check me out over there, and all of the links are also in the description. I have a Discord. The Ghost Industries Limited Discord is where most of my community hangs out, and we would love to have you. And finally, last but not least, a TBSliver.
Thank you very much. Yep, I'm TBSliver. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and anywhere else. If you type TBSliver into Google, you'll probably find me on GitHub and everywhere else that I am. But mainly Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch /TBSliver. And at the moment, I'm playing through Outriders. Playing through the main storyline of Outriders. Sometimes joined by Sarin when his PC lets him, and Lucian when he gets it. And any other game sort of like that. I've got a long list of demos to try because Lucian never wants to touch them. Of games that I'm interested in.
I won't touch it until it comes into early access.
That's why I'm playing the demo, to see if it's even worth me playing the early access. But that's beside the point. So I'll be back on Friday with something. I'm not actually sure what I'm playing on Friday. Maybe some Outriders, although Simon's playing something else. So we shall see. Tune in 8 p.m. GMT. I still haven't changed that from GMT on the header. 8 p.m. UK time. Yeah, so catch you all there. Other than that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining.
Yeah.
We will be back in 2 weeks' time. We try and do this every 2 weeks on the 14th of July for an hour or so of random chatter, gaming news, and whatever the hell we've actually been up to.
One more point before we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's my birthday in a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally. It's birthday is on 7th of July. So, if you have spare money, send it my way.
Send him a cookie or something. Yeah, no.
Okay, so if we're going to be doing this, mine's on the 8th, so...
Oh my god.
Yeah, Sarin's on the 8th, I'm on the 7th. When's yours, Sliver?
February.
Well, that's gone past then. Well, never mind.
Pity. If only it could be 6, 7, 8, that'd be insane.
Would have been hilarious.
That would have been hilarious. But yes, so yeah, go join over on /LucianVGhost on Twitter, Twitch.
On Twitter? Yes, technically true.
Technically true.
LucianVGhost on Twitter and
Lucian_V_Ghost on Twitch.
And SarinTal on Twitch as well.
Their birthday's on the 7th and 8th. If you end up on the wrong channel, don't worry, you'll probably be able to find the other one.
But one of us will be hosting the other.
Yeah, more than likely. Apart from that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and we will catch you in 2 weeks. Great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.